Hello, good morning, and welcome to New Forest Morphs. I hope everyone's had a wonderful Christmas holidays and that everyone had a great New Year celebration. Jared is now back in the facility. Welcome back, Jared. How was your New Year celebration? And hopefully you're not too tired.
Knackered.
Jared's absolutely knackered because your son also kept you up at night, didn't he? And so you're probably a little bit tired. But
Mixture of both, yeah.
we did see in the New Year, and we had a really good time doing it. And I hope everyone else had a good time too. But it's good to be back in the facility. There's a lot that's been happening, and we want to give you a full update, but we want to wish you all a very happy 2024. So first of all, Jared, we had our first ovulation on the 31st of December 2023, the last day of 2023. Shadow decided to give us an ovulation, and we took a picture. So I don't know whether you can see that okay, Jared, but I'll home in on that one. You can see that because she's a super cine het pied girl, you can actually see the shape of the eggs if you look carefully. She's bulging with all the scale expansion, tail suck, and also she's got that ridging. And so I'm really pleased to see her. She was put to Bowser, who's our dreamsicle boy. So we're hoping to produce some guaranteed cinnamons that are going to be, half of them will be pied, and they'll all be 100% het for lavender. So looking forward to seeing her produce some eggs for us. So my reckoning is that she should give us a pre-lay shed in about 2 weeks, and then after 2 weeks, I think it's then 4 weeks, then she lays the eggs. So from 6 weeks, you're looking at mid-February. Now I can hear Skip, who wants to breed. Now if you look carefully, you've got all the boys, just look at them, Jared, they're all wanting to breed. You've got Galileo at the top, says let me out and breed. Skip saying let me out and breed. Bowser, let me out and breed. They're all kind of showing interest. Thor, another boy who's been locking for us, which is our VPI Exantic Pied boy. So all the boys are very, very keen to breed at the moment, and we've given them a good 2 weeks rest. We haven't bred for 2 weeks, Jared, and we haven't fed them for a couple of weeks as well. And if you look over your shoulder, Jared, you can see we've got 150 rats here that we're on defrost, and you can see the different sizes we've got and the methodology. Let's just talk about, obviously the boys are probably also smelling the food as well, but you can see what we've got here. We've got the larger rats here for the larger girls, and they are, how big are these, Jared? These are 200 grammers?
Yeah.
Large multis for the big girls that are multi-eaters, and we've got about 8 of those. And then we've got lots of medium-sized multis that we feed a lot of our collection. We've got some small rats, and then we've got some rat fluffs here for the babies that are coming on. So overall, Jared and I are going to feed, I think it's over 150 animals today together, and we can do that in less than an hour because we've got everything so well fine-tuned. We've got 4 snakes in the house that are in the quarantine area, which is the Sunset Project and the DG Pied Project. So we're going to present some food to them today. And we've also got quite a few of our hatchlings that have shed out, ready to take meals. So we'll be doing that a bit later on today. So you will see a lot of the snakes can smell the food. You can see them all starting to sniff. And the idea is that we use this heater, Jared, just to talk about what we used to do. We used to put them in water, but we found with the water, it used to flush out all the flavour of the animal, and they used to be less responsive. But what we found is, we let the heater naturally defrost the animals. We make sure it permeates in here for a good 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We'll do the same in the quarantine area, where we'll just make sure that the snakes can actually use their senses, get into the S shape, so they're ready to go when we start feeding. And that's the technique that we adopt, and we've fine-tuned this over 5 years, 6 years, and that's why we can feed so many animals so quickly, is because everything is normally. And if they're in shed and they don't want to feed, we don't even focus on that. And if they don't take within literally seconds, we move on. We don't mess about. We might come back to them and give them one more presentation later. And then at the end, what we do is, to avoid waste, we then give them a chance to take the food in, and then we go through every single drawer and we represent anything that's been dropped, and we make sure that we don't waste any food. And I think by doing that, Jared, the next morning I have less issues with smelly rats that have been left. We used to lose 3 or 4 rats every feeding session. Now we lose 0 because of the double checking after we fed. So there's another tip. The cost of rats are going up, so it's worth bearing that in mind. do a check afterwards, and then pick up anything and represent it to them if they've dropped it, because sometimes they can drop it if they haven't quite hit it right, or they just need a little bit more tug of war. We do a little bit of tug of war with them to give the impression that the animal is actually live, and then they take it down the second attempt. So there's something there to consider. Right, let's go and have a look at the next thing I wanted to cover, which was we did 2 weeks ago. We did a massive check on all the size of our girls. Now, besides Shadow, and let's have a look at Shadow and see how she is. We might as well see whether we can see whether she's still in ovulation, Jad. She should be starting to come out of it, because it's only held for a few days and then it eventually comes down. But this is the girl that we think has ovulated. There you go. And now she's moved on to the hot spot, and once they ovulate, you know that they are going to give you a clutch of eggs, whether they are fully fertilized or slugs. You're going to get something. So that's the one. Now there's 8 other girls that are over 30 mil follicles. Now I don't think we've had any girls at 30 mils by the end of December, Jad, have we?
I think so.
It's the first time, but I think the reason why that is because we started to feed earlier. We also rested a lot of our girls in the previous season, so they hadn't gone for us. And I think it was just preparation, really, Jad, and conditions. And we've had a very wet, rainy season, and the locking's been good. Everything's been good, methodical, and they've just been building. But the other girls that we've got is Mayu's over 30. Let's bring her out and see how she's looking. So she's got 30 plus 35 mil follicles. Can you see the bulging here, Jad?
Mm-hmm.
Egg-shaped bulging. And again, when you're looking at ovulation, Jad, what are the signs that you look for on ovulation?
You've got like a rugby ball in their tummy.
Rugby ball in the tummy.
Often they'll suck their tail in near the cloaca. There'll be a
Tail suck.
Tail suck.
Yeah.
And then ridging.
Ridging.
On the
See a
spine.
lot of ridging on the spine. You can see that. Isa, actually, when we checked Isa, she's another one that's in the 35 mil. She may have ovulated as well. I'll just show you what she's doing at the moment. She had a lot of ridging this morning. Whether she's repositioned herself, but we do think that she may have ovulated as well. But there she is. So she'll give us a clutch of eggs pretty soon. Big girl, 2.5 kilograms. So we'll keep an eye on these ones. It's worth knowing exactly where your girls are, because keep an eye on them, because an ovulation can be missed very easily. They can go within 2 days, the ovulation. So there's another one that we're super excited about, DG Clown Project. Then we've also got Mango, your girl. She's looking big. She's about 30 as well. Let's see how she's doing. You notice a lot of the girls that have built up over 30 mil, once they get over 30 mil, Jared, I think they actually cannot absorb. I've been told that once they get past the 30 mil, that is normally the point where they cannot reabsorb the follicles. So that's a really good measure of where you're going to get something effectively. That's Mango. Below her, we've got 2 other girls, Tess. And you can see how big she is, Jared. She's very close to, I think she's very close to 30 as well, but look at the size of her. Doing a lot of bowl wrapping. She's a spot-nosed het clown girl that has gone to Hercules. So we're looking at producing some multi-combo Batmans with her. So hopefully that's going to be exciting. And Bubbles, she's close to 30 mil as well. Let's have a look and see how she's doing. She is a enchi lesser clown girl, and she has gone to a boy that has orange dream, yellow belly, leopard, het clown boy, bellissimo. They've had 3 locks, so hopefully we're going to produce some multi-combo clowns there. And I think there's about 3 or 4 other girls that are huge as well, Jared. So we've got Tess Calissa. Now this girl here is getting close to 30. She constantly bowl wraps, Jared. Have you seen this? She's been in there for days. Now, when we last measured her, she had like 25 mil follicles, Jared, and that was nearly 3 weeks ago. So I'm guessing that she's going to be getting close to 30 mil now. But we got a little technique here, is that when they're in the water bowl and you don't disturb them and top up their water, we give them a second water bowl. So we don't disturb them, we let them do their cooling, and then if they want extra water, it's there for them. So that's just a little tip there for anyone that's got a similar problem. We don't want to put in water over her and disturb her, so we put a separate water bowl in. And I think there was a couple of other really big girls that we've got, Jared. We've got Suzuki that was 35mm. She is the vanilla het clown girl, Jared. You want to pull her out and see how she's doing? It's going to bump. She may have to just have a little look at her, see where she is. But Hercules went to her, so it's multi-combo clowns again. But yeah, big girl. So we'll try and get one final lock in there, Jared, with Hercules before she goes. And then there was two other girls. I think we've got Electra. Now she is our super gravel girl. Let's just pull her out. She's been doing a lot of bowl wrapping and she's gone off food. So a lot of these girls begin to go off food as well. Let's just see how she's doing. Is she still bowl wrapping, Jared?
She's in her bowl.
She's in her bowl. So here's another. She's still building. There you go. Can you see?
She's massive.
Isn't she lovely? And she's not eaten for about 3 or 4 weeks now. She's got enough bulk in her. She's nearly 3. Well, we won't disturb her, Jared. She's nearly 3 kilograms to honest you, but she does love her bowl wrapping. And I think it's all part and parcel of just keeping cool to build the follicles, to build those eggs. So she could go pretty soon. And now we've also got some 20mm girls, and we'll go through a few of those. Let's have a look. So we've got 9 that are over 30mm. We've got another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that are 20mm that could go about a month later. So if we say 10 more. So these are Jupiter. I'll show you her. So Jupiter is this one here. She's been doing a lot of bowl wrapping. She's been in her bowl a lot, but there you go. She is a butter het clown, proven breeder. She's given us our first clutch of clowns 2 years ago, but she's due another clutch. We haven't put a male to her yet, Jared, but she's 20mm. So it just brings me on to one thing I learned over the weekend from the podcast, Jared, is that there's a guy that has an ultrasound and he has a really top end boy. He's put, believe it or not, to 19 girls. Can you believe that? You would think that's impossible, but he took the view that he's got this high-end boy and he uses the ultrasound and he makes sure that he gives them a lock when they're at 25 to 30 mils. One lock. He's a one-lock man. I think that's very dangerous to do that because we like to have at least 3 locks, don't we, Jared? So the ideal place to get a lock will be on 10mm, 20mm and 30mm in our book. So if you can get 3 locks in, and normally we wouldn't put more. A big boy could take up to 5, maybe 6 girls max. But to stretch one boy to 19 is amazing. I mean, I've never heard of that before, Jared. I thought that was a little bit extreme, but I wouldn't recommend it. But obviously there is a guy out there that's doing it successfully and the male's absolutely fine. But obviously if he's only doing 1 lock, he's doing the equivalent of 20 locks a year or 19 locks a year. Which is what one boy could be doing. If you put 3 or 4 locks
per month
to 5, then he's doing the same locks. So just wants to spread that boy out really carefully, and I think there's a good strategy in actually putting your money into high-end boys, because also I've noticed on some of the podcasts I've been listening to, there's been breeders that have spent £10,000. There's a guy who spent £10,000 on a panda pied girl and she still hasn't gone. He's had it 5 years. It's not gone at all. And the thing is, if you spend 10 grand on a beautiful boy and you put it to 5 girls, 2 of those girls might go, 3 of those girls might go, and you've got those genes going through within a year or so, and instead of the market price dropping, you've actually got the genes going in early, spread amongst many girls. You're spreading your risk. So my advice would be, if you've got a limited budget, put your money into high-end boys first, get them into breedable state, and then put them to the girls when they're ready to go to produce your double hets and hets, and then once you grow those up, you can then produce further snakes from that. So it gets an acceleration of pace of going. Right, the other girls that were in the 20mm, you've got Moja, your first ever baby. If you want to have a quick look at her up there, she's 20mm. She's hopefully going to be albino high double het. She's possible het at the moment, but let's prove out and produce some of those. We've also got Starburst. She's at 20mm, Mojave Ultramel girl. see how she's doing. She's a multi-eater, but she's got 20 mil follicles in there, Jared. I would like to get her up a bit more size, and we're going to try and present to her a big multi today. And we've put the Ultramel pied boy to her, Colt. Jared, just have a little look at Colt. He's had his first lot. He's an exciting boy. He's now in the breeding rotation. He had his first lot 2 weeks ago to Starburst. And he's about, what, 650, 700, Jared?
Yeah.
But he's settling well into his new rub, and he likes the ladies, and he's already done his first lock. So, this is the benefit of investing in these boys, is within a year of buying them, you can start to breed with them, and that's what's going to accelerate your projects. So, we're looking forward to getting his genes in there, and we should be able to produce some visual Mojave Ultramels that are 100% het for pied. The other ones that were at 20 mil is we've got Colossus. She's at 20 mils. Now she's smelling food. I'm going to get my, here's my little hook, Jared. I'll leave my hook. We'll get the hook out on this one because she's 4 kilogram girl. She can smell the food. She can come out and she's in pound mode, but she's 20 mil. But Jared, when you checked her follicles, okay, how big was she, Jared?
She was only like
She's
18
to 20, I think she is. But if you look at this, how many eggs did you find, Jared?
There's quite a few. 14.
14 eggs. So she's carrying 14 eggs. Now if she goes all the way, we could end up with at least 7 Ultramels. She's a het Ultramel girl. We put the Mojave Ultramel boy to her Titus. We could end up with 7 Ultramels, of which half of those will be Mojaves, Jared, which would be wonderful. So that'll be a really big clutch, but we actually counted 14 eggs in her, and that'll be a record for us. What else have we got going on? We've got Pringle, she's in shed. She's our beautiful F&F line calico girl. She's 20 mil. We've got the lavender girl, Jared. So if we look at the lavender girl here, she's a dreamsicle girl, Peach. She's also 20 mil. Now look, she wants to eat. Can you see that? She can smell the food. Poised. So, we'll just put that back. Look, you can see how quickly they want to feed, Jared. And it's morning time. It's not even night time. Full lights on. You can just see how hungry these kills are. They are in pounding mode. So we're going to have hopefully a very successful feed a bit later. What else have we got going on? Peach. We've got Colossus. We've got Caramac, which is our other Ultramel girl. She's at 20 mil follicles. She's the baby of Colossus that we had 3 years ago, one of my first clutches. And let's just have a look at her. There you go, Jared. See how big she is? And she's looking good, 20 mil. So we've got some exciting things going on here. And we've got lots of other animals that are at 10 mil plus as well. So we've probably got potentially 30 girls that could give us clutches this year. So I hope everyone else is actually having a good season too. Ours is going to be early, I believe, Jared. So let's move on to the next topic, which is locks. Now Thor, you can see here, he's the one that's making all the noise today.
It's actually Galileo.
Is it Galileo? Yeah. Now he might be going into shed. Now this boy wouldn't lock with anything last year, would he? He's now locking. So I've got locks with La-La. Now La-La is almost 20 mil, and she is a pastel het pied girl. So back you go. Let's just spin back. So she's over here, Jared, La-La. She's been bowl wrapping as well, and I've got a really nice lock from her. Can you see she's at the cool end building? So when you get your girls at the cool end, you know they're still building. Once they get to a certain size, they go onto the hot spot, they start nesting, and they go off food. That's what you're looking for as the girls are progressing. Let me just show you a few pictures of a few locks. So let's start with
You can see
Galileo.
him,
I mean, Galileo, he's nearly as active as Skip, isn't he? Just what we get, he might bolt out, Jack.
see him popping up his hide.
Oh, I love to see the excitement of these boys. I mean, they get so excited, they just want to breed. But let me just show you a few locks, Jared. That's what I wanted to do. So here's the lock between Thor and La-La last week. And that was the amount of time she's been on top of him, Jared, and just suppressed him. But that tells me she's ready to breed now. She's hit the 20 mil, she's ready for a lock. and she allowed Thor to do the biz. And there's a close-up of the lock there, you can see it. A nice healthy lock. Well pleased with that. What else locked? Let's have a look. Oh yeah, Thor was busy. He also went to Leona, and that's another lock, and did that the week earlier. And she is a cinnamon pied girl. She's behind you, Jared. We can have a quick look at her and see how she's doing.
Shed.
Yeah, just going into shed. See, you've wet it down, but you can see that she's building up follicles. She's got 10 mil follicles. And some of these girls are at 10, some are at 20. The thing that surprised me, Jared, is some of the girls that are only 2 years old, like Costa, is at 10 millimeters, and she's had her first lock. Okay, and you can see we've got Vesta and Ember, and we've got other snakes here that I think might come into the breeding rotation, but this is the one I'm super excited about, because for 2 months we couldn't get Hercules to lock to Isa, and we were worried because Isa was getting into the 30 mil. And while you were away, Jared, I know Jared's just come back from his holiday, I was delighted to see that, and he did that within 30 minutes of them being paired, Jared. So I think sometimes the locks can happen very quickly, but Hercules is our multi-combo boy to Isa, who's our enchi DG girl. And then we've got all the follicle sizes here. You can see some of the follicles there. So we had a good session, didn't we, Jared?
Mm-hmm.
And you've got all the names of them. Starburst was at 17.7. That one is Celeste. She is at 15. I think you named them all as well for me, Jared. Suzuki was at 34. Look at the size of those follicles. And that one was La-La at 16. Calissa at 21. NASA at 11.4. NASA is our bongo possible het clown. She's building. We've got Venus, which locked with your banana boy. She's at 16 mil. Fern, our fire clown, het clown girl, at 10 mil. Pringle at 17 mil. Phoebe at 13 mil. Atlas 15 mil. Karamak at nearly 20 mil. That one was a really big one, Chad, isn't it? I'm trying to work out who that was. That might have been Shadow. That was the first one we did, I think. That was Shadow. Yeah. Oh, that was Mayu at 32. There you go. Mayu at 32. So she could go for us any moment now. So there's a few of the follicles. Jan, how much time do we have left on the video?
7 minutes.
7 minutes. So, excuse me, let me just take a drink. In the last 7 minutes, we're just going to share some of our exciting boys that are coming through the ranks, which we're going to be using in 2024 and 2025. We've got 4 boys that should be ready for 2024. One of them we showed you, Colt, but this is the one that interests me, Jared, which is Archie. And I'll bring it to the table, this one, Jared, because it's he's a lovely boy. He's part of our hypo projects. So we produced this about, what was it, nearly 2 years ago, Jared?
Was that long?
It was 18 months. Can't remember, it might be 18 months. This boy here, who's about 600 grams, will be ready to breed pretty soon. Now he is a fire hypo, and he's got the tracks, so we think he's 100% het pied. And his father is Samo, who is actually a double het. Now, we've been using Samo on his mum, Moneypenny, and you can see she's building nicely. Her follicle sizes, Jared, were coming in at 14 millimeters. So she's building. There she is. So to get more out of her, we can actually put this boy to her son, and that will then double our chances of hitting hypo. So what you can do is, once you've brought on the offspring, you can put the offspring back into the mother and actually double your odds for hitting the hypopied is which we want to hit. So that would actually double our chances, Jared. So we have checked. Did you see any sperm, Jared, when you checked?
No.
No, we didn't see any sperm on Colt, but he locked. So I think there is a process that you go through, which is you introduce these boys, get them into a locking position. That will stimulate their hormones. It could stimulate the development of more sperm. So I think if they're not producing sperm, I would still put them to an animal, Jared. Get them into locking mode, and then monitor their sperm count over the next few months ahead. So this is one boy that's going to come into the breeding rotation in 2024, and there were 2 other boys that we think will be almost ready to go as well, Jared. And I'm just going to remember what we had. It was the clown pied double visual boy, which I think
Banana leopard clown pied.
banana leopard clown pied boy. Let's see how he's doing. He's 600 grams too. We'll just put this fellow back. I've got to be careful because there are rats in there and I don't want to get bitten. I saw a video by Miguel when he was showing off his snakes. He got badly bitten by one of his hatchlings because he was on feeding day as well. So I want to try and avoid that. But here we go. This boy here is a very picky eater, Jared. And we want to try and get him feeding, don't we? But is he going into shed? Let's have a look at him. But we've got big plans for this boy. But he came as a picky eater, and hopefully tonight he will take a multi for us. Is the game plan, isn't it, Jared?
Mm-hmm.
He's big enough to breed, and it might be that if we start breeding with him, it might actually get him stimulated and get him going. But he's very much in casual, relaxed mode at the moment. Not a lot going on in terms of feeding, but we'll give him some food tonight and see whether he takes. If not, then the other strategy we've got, Jared, is to put him to a girl and see whether that unlocks him, gets him unlocked. Might be that he
Stick into Calypso.
Yeah. So Calypso is your
Clown het pied.
clown het pied girl, and she's building nicely. We didn't even mention her, but she's in the 20mm. Let's have a quick look at her, Jared, as well. You have a look at her while I put this guy back. Now she's moving on to her hotspot. Good size build there. And she's now dropping down to small multis, Jared. She was nailing big prey items now, but I think she's realised that she's big enough to go. Present probably a smaller multi. And then just to wrap up, we've got the other boy. We've got Archie Colt, got the Cloud Pied boy, and
DG pied.
we've got the DG Pied that's shed out. We've got the DG Het Clown boy that's shed out, and we've got the Ultra Clown and the Gravel Clown. Oh, the other one that we're going to breed with is the Het Sunset boy, enchi Het Sunset, 50% Het Clown boy, who's in quarantine. We're going to bring him into the breeding rotation. How much time have we got, Jerry?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. So just show out these babies that have just literally just come out of shed. So the DG.
He's down at the bottom.
Sorry?
He's at the bottom.
He's at the bottom, is he? DG Het Clown. God, he's pooed as well, Jared.
That must have literally been from the loss.
You just cleaned and he's just pooed, but anyway.
Yeah, it's a fresh one.
Look how clean he is, Jared. We're going to build him up, so we're for 2025. So the point I'm trying to make here is that you want to start producing your stud boys by them a year or two early, so that when you get to the next season you've got everything to go, is the name of the game, Jared. So we've got that boy, so we're going to be producing some Desert Ghost, going for some Desert Ghost Het Clowns ourselves.
The one next to him's the DG pied.
This is the DG Pied. Oh, look at this one, smell the food already. Look, this one wants to eat already. This one has no problems eating, Jared, hasn't missed a meal. He shed out, it is a boy. I keep on calling her a girl, but it's actually a boy. And that project, he'll be going to the double het DG Pied girls that are in quarantine once they're through in a year's time. And then the other two,
With 20 seconds.
well, we can show you the other two next time, Jared, but just want to wish everyone a happy 2024, and we shall see you next time. So it's goodbye from Jared and goodbye from me. Take care, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye for now.